my experience with the Perma, I've been using a Perma since 2017. That's when I got the first one. We have a second unit. Kind of operates as a backup unit, so if we do have issues and things go down, we don't have to, we're not down for the day. You kind of have to have a little bit of a mechanic's touch to it, because like I said, everything does work off of the RPMs of the engine, and then all your pulleys and everything are running off of that. So if you're having some issues, it's pretty easy to diagnose when you have a problem. You know, a belt slipping in your transaxles, your wheels aren't moving as fast as they should, and then you realize, yeah, your belt might be loose or spinning or old and needs to be replaced. It's gonna kind of like snowball and affect everything. Getting on this thing and maneuvering it, it's a pretty maneuverable machine. The only problem that I've ever experienced is when we get ourselves into like a blind alley or something. And what I mean is, like, say you're you know, there's a garage, a fence, and then it's a dead end. There's a fence there, and you don't have enough room to turn around. This is not hydraulically driven. You've got a transaxle where you have to manually select your gears. So we're in reverse right now.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're in reverse, you know, neutral, that's high gear, low gear. But, you know, it takes a little bit more finesse to get out of tight spots with this machine. It's not like a hydraulically driven machine where, you know, you could just, you know, push forward and then, oh, we're going back, and you're in and out. You know, it's like, we gotta stop, change gears, rev it up, make sure you don't jackknife, things like that. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty nimble. It's great on hills because, you know, you could step off of it and you could bring the whole control assembly down. So if you're going on a hill or you're going across it sideways, you're not going to want to ride it, you're going to want to walk behind it. And this gives you the great flexibility. You could even drop it down from high gear into low gear while you're doing it, give you more control, more stability on hills, and get the job done. The controls are pretty intuitive, and once you get the hang of it, and once you train on this machine, it becomes very intuitive. You could spray and do everything at once. You know, when I'm here, we have you know, the throttles located here. Here's your spray. You could lock that in place so you could still be spraying and, you know, move your deflector where you need to. If you need to switch your valves, you could do that. These are your high and low gear sprays. They correspond with which gear you're in. What's so awesome about this is, if you're, you know, what I like about this is that you could sit there while the third hole's open and this deflector is up, okay? So that means it's open. So show them where the deflector goes. Okay. So you could see shifting this. You could, on the right side, you could block off so the granular doesn't go on sidewalks, or keeps it off of sidewalks. You're still gonna have to do some cleanup, or keeps it out of landscape beds. The cool thing about this third hole shutoff is when you use that, it reduces the amount of product coming out, right? Well, on mine, I have to individually do that and then this, right? I got this little tab that pulls back and forth. It's kind of like, it's almost like this tab that I have to use. Well, with this, with the handles like that, what's wonderful is you can grab both of them at the same time, put the deflector up so that it's down, and then shut that hole off in one movement, and then if you want to, just re-engage it. So it's much easier, it's more intuitive now to turn these on and off. So that's a great upgrade. And then, you know, I know you got a little bit of product in here, but, you know, it's as easy with the left or right. Most of the time when I'm using it, I just use one of my thumbs to turn on and off the gate here. And like I said, your spray is controlled by this handle here, and you could do spot sprays on the go, or if you need to blanket spray, you could just leave that on. There's a little lock on here, so as you're driving along, it goes. And then of course your brakes. So you got a brakes for your sulky, and then you've got a trans brake. So that's kind of like the whole control nest. there's a, you know, it looks like a lot when you first get on it and you're not used to it. It looks kind of intimidating, but really once you don't have to be. What's great about the layout of this, for the most part, everything that you're going to need to just grab and go, it's all going to be memory. It's all within fingertips. Okay. If you have to switch your valves, that's not something that you're usually like doing a lot of. Unless you're doing, you know, because once you do like a spray where you're doing a hang on. When you're doing a perimeter pass, that's when you would usually do like, okay, maybe we're going to be in low gear and then we might put it to our trim side. That, you know, that just takes a quick second. You could do this on the fly, but most of the time when we do any kind of changes, maybe I might just stop for just a second just to twist the valve to go ready for my pass and then just go. But almost everything on here, I shouldn't say almost everything on here you could do on the fly. You don't have to stop and like go and change things, because when you do your presets, you know, there's some preset areas here, like this is what you would use for your low gear. You could lock this in so that your spreader, I don't really use the gauge too much. I use there's the little sticks that you put in the holes to measure. I keep mine right here, but you don't have them.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do?
They're in my pocket.
Ah, okay. And then the high speed adjustment for this is over here, and it's pretty easy to adjust these things so that you're getting the right amount of granular out.
Yep.
So long story short, I've been using this for a long time. This machine it does require more maintenance than a lot of machines that you might have had previous. So if you're a guy that's been mowing for a long time, any machine that you're going to have when it comes to fertilization and weed control, think of the environment that it's working in. It's dealing with caustic, you know, it's the fertilizers and everything are just going to be eaten away at everything. So taking proper care and maintenance and making sure you're cleaning things and flushing the lines and all those things are really important. So you're going to have to make sure that you are spending time doing the maintenance on these pieces of equipment in order to keep them running right. Because if they're not as forgiving if you don't have a good maintenance schedule. Just keep that in mind. Maintenance, ounce of prevention, pound of cure. That old saying. But other than that, this has been a moneymaker for us. Obviously, I have a different business than Jake does, but we've been using these since 2017, and we get our ROI on these machines back very quickly. So if you're looking at perma greens, try to find somebody that has one. Take it for a test drive. Go to events like the Equip Expo down in Kentucky, in Louisville, formerly the GIE. Go down there, check out check these machines out. If you're in Valpo or in the Northwest Indiana region, they're made here in Valparaiso, Indiana. So you could probably sign something up, talk to, go bug Dan Shiplov, I do every time I talk to him. And then, they might be able to get you a demo or a tour or something like that, or hook you up with one of the guys like us in the area that use these machines and give them, maybe we'll let you take it for a spin, I don't know.
I want to thank you for your time, John,
You're
as
welcome.
always. The one person I have to thank for that and teaching me how to use it is John. He was actually here to teach me how to calibrate it and everything. So I think it goes back to what he was saying, not only getting yourself a good machine, but finding someone who has that machine, knows that machine inside and out, and can help you learn how to use it and maintain it and keep it up to the highest standards, which mine clearly does not illustrate right now. But just to be clear, I do the maintenance. It may not look from bird's eye view, it looks like I don't maintain it. I do, though. I keep all the bells and whistles cleaned up. It does need to be cleaned, but if it's clean, it's not being put through the ringer. Am I right? So
not only but just in your defense, it was like 5 degrees in November, and if you would have washed it, you would have had problems. So
absolutely, yeah. So it's a great machine. I'm going to be doing a whole nother season with it, so stay tuned to see how it does with the conventional granular. I think that'll be interesting to see. Probably going to be doing some more renovation projects with it. That'll be fun. But in the meantime, I want to thank this fellow right here for his time. He actually has a course. I recommend you guys check it out. What is it called, John? Tell everybody the highs and lows of it.
We've got budgets, break-evens, and bottom lines, which helps landscape business owners build budgets so they can calculate profitable price points for their business and their services. And also I do yard book training and business development coaching. And that's all at johnpajak.com. That's JOHNPAJAK.com. So go ahead and check them out. I'll be ready to help you out.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.